Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Pod. My name is James.
And I'm Olivia.
And today with Olivia, we have ever wondered how successful people design their lives? It's all about reverse goal setting. In this podcast, we'll explore how flipping the traditional goal-setting process can be a game changer, helping you create the life you've always dreamed of. Let's dive in and turn your dreams into reality.
Hey everyone, ready to really design a life you'll love?
Who isn't, right?
Well, today we're diving deep into this thing called reverse goal setting.
Interesting.
And trust me, it's not your typical self-help stuff.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
It's this 3-step system. It basically says figuring out what you don't want can be just as powerful as chasing what you do want.
Huh. So almost like looking at a photo negative.
Exactly. You start with the shadow version to make the positive even clearer.
I like that.
And this whole idea of becoming version 2.0 of yourself, that really caught my eye.
Yeah, I mean...
What does that even mean in real life, though?
You know, it's easy to get stuck in that day-to-day thinking like, this is just how it is.
Yes.
But this first step, reimagine.
Yeah.
It's about blowing up those limitations.
Okay.
Like, what if anything were possible?
Ooh, I like where this is going.
The source even talked about people ditching the 9-to-5 to, travel the world.
Okay, so that's the dream, right? But how do we get from dreaming to actually doing?
That's where things get interesting. Because step 2 is called reject.
Definitely not what you expect from, a motivational technique, huh?
No, not really.
It sounds almost pessimistic.
It's not about being negative, but realistic.
Okay.
The source had this story about a person who realized their worst nightmare was being trapped in a corporate job they hated.
Ooh. Yeah, I know that feeling.
And that clarity, that fear, it actually became the push they needed to make a change.
Wow. So it's like using that negative energy as fuel.
Exactly.
But how do you even figure out what your worst case scenario is?
Wow.
Sometimes it's hard enough to figure out what to eat for dinner.
That's so true. You can start by asking yourself 5 years from now,
Okay.
what situation would make you truly miserable? What are your non-negotiables? The things you would just absolutely avoid at all costs.
Okay, so let's say we've gone through all that soul searching, faced our fears.
Yeah.
What then? Do we just sit around and feel bad?
No, definitely not. That's where step 3, reframe, comes in.
Okay, good.
It's where we connect those big, sometimes scary dreams to actions we can take right now.
I'm all about actionable advice.
Me too. The source gave these really practical examples.
No thick.
You want to lose 50 pounds.
Yeah.
Focus on just 5 pounds at a time.
Okay. I see where you're going with this.
Or if you want to be a YouTuber, start with making one awesome video this week.
Oh, I love that. So it's about breaking those huge goals into bite-sized pieces so you don't get overwhelmed.
Exactly.
But does this small wins approach actually work, though?
Oh, you'd be surprised.
I mean, can focusing on 5 pounds really get you to 50?
Because each small win, it's not just about that one action.
Right.
It's rewiring your brain to believe in your ability to achieve more.
Ooh.
It builds momentum and motivation.
So it's like those small wins create a snowball effect that can lead to those big, audacious dreams.
Exactly. And that brings us to the really fascinating part of this reverse goal setting idea. It's not just about achieving those external goals. It's about who you become in the process.
Whoa, okay, that's deep. So it's like designing your dream life is actually a way to design your dream self.
Think about it this way. When you consciously decide to pursue certain things and reject others,
Yeah.
you're basically sending a message to yourself and the world about what truly matters.
That's such an interesting way to think about it. So it's not just checking things off a list. It's about making choices that actually shape that you are at your core.
Each step you take, even those small wins, they become part of your identity.
Yeah.
You start to see yourself as someone who can achieve things, someone who takes action, someone who doesn't settle for a life they don't love.
Okay, that makes total sense. But I have to be honest, sometimes I just feel like I'm faking it till I make it.
Right.
Can you really change who you are fundamentally?
It's not about being someone you're not. It's about uncovering the best version of yourself.
Okay.
Sometimes our limiting beliefs and fears can hold us back from really stepping into who we're meant to be.
That's so true. It's we're all carrying around all this baggage from the past that keeps us from moving forward.
Exactly.
But if this reverse goal setting can help us shed some of that baggage, I mean, that's pretty powerful stuff.
It is. And you know what? It reminds me of some of the other ideas we've explored. Like, have you ever heard of that Stoic practice? Negative visualization.
I've heard of Stoicism, but not super familiar. What's negative visualization all about?
It's actually very similar to that reject step.
Really?
It's about mentally preparing for potential, obstacles and setbacks. Imagining those worst case scenarios. So they don't catch you off guard if they actually happen.
Oh. So it's like by mentally rehearsing those tough situations, you're actually building like resilience, mental strength.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it can also help you appreciate what you have right now.
How so?
By visualizing the potential loss of something,
Right.
you become more grateful for it, for its existence in your life right now.
Wow, that's fascinating. So we're seeing this idea of facing your fears head on. It's popping up in all these different philosophies and practices. It seems like there's something really powerful about confronting the negative instead of just, trying to ignore it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, this whole idea of breaking goals down into smaller steps, that also has roots in other philosophies, like Kaizen, that Japanese concept.
Okay, I'm totally hooked now. Tell me more about Kaizen. How does it connect to what we're talking about?
So Kaizen is all about continuous improvement through small incremental changes.
Interesting.
It's the idea that even tiny steps consistently applied over time, they can lead to significant progress.
So instead of trying to overhaul your entire life overnight,
Right.
you focus on making those small, consistent improvements day after day.
Exactly. And that really resonates with the reframe step, right?
Yeah, I see that.
Instead of getting overwhelmed by the, hugeness of your goals, you break them down into those bite-sized actions that you can take consistently.
This is blowing my mind. So it's not just some random self-help stuff.
Right.
It's actually drawing on all these ancient philosophies and proven strategies for, success.
It's about taking those big, often abstract ideas and grounding them in practical, actionable steps.
This brings up something that's been on my mind, though.
What's that?
This whole design your dream life thing,
Yeah.
it kind of assumes that everyone has the same opportunities
Oh, yeah.
and resources. Right?
You're hitting on a really important point. Not everyone has the same starting point.
Right.
And it's crucial to acknowledge those systemic barriers.
Exactly. Some people are born into situations where just surviving is a daily struggle. How can we talk about designing your dream life
Right.
when basic needs aren't even being met?
I hear you. And it's something we need to be mindful of. It's not about dismissing those very real challenges,
Yeah.
but about exploring how we can still empower ourselves within those limitations.
So even if you can't completely change your external circumstances,
Right.
you can still work on changing your internal world, your mindset, your beliefs, your outlook.
Exactly. It's about finding those pockets of agency, those areas where you do have control,
Okay.
and using them to cultivate a sense of ownership over your life.
So even if your dream life looks different from someone else's, it's still about creating a life that feels authentic and fulfilling to you.
Absolutely. And, sometimes those small acts of defiance,
Uh-huh.
those moments when you choose to reject a limiting belief
Yeah.
or step outside of your comfort zone,
Yeah.
those can be incredibly empowering,
I love that.
even if you can't change your entire situation overnight.
It's like even in the face of adversity, there's still that spark of hope, a possibility for growth and transformation.
And who knows? Maybe those small acts of courage can inspire others, create a ripple effect, contributing to a world where everyone has more opportunities to design a life they love.
Okay, so we've talked about the steps of reverse goal setting. We've connected it to other cool ideas. We've even explored some of the bigger social implications.
Yeah.
But now I want to shift gears a bit and talk about this whole reverse goal setting. It strikes me that it kind of hinges on something deeper, like your mindset.
Oh, absolutely. You could have the most perfect plan in the world, but
Yeah.
if you don't believe in yourself, it's not going to work.
The source kind of dances around this but. It's clear that the whole reimagine step,
Right.
it requires some serious optimism. You have to believe things can be different,
Yeah.
that you're not just stuck with the life you have.
It's like that saying, right? Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right.
Ugh.
If you're constantly telling yourself, I'm not good enough, or, I'll never be able to afford that,
Yeah.
those thoughts become self-fulfilling prophecies.
Oh, tell me about it. I struggle with negative self-talk all the time. It's like there's this little voice in my head,
Oh, yeah.
always trying to sabotage my dreams.
I get it.
How can this reject step help us overcome those internal barriers?
That's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
By identifying what you don't want,
Right.
you're also shedding light on those like fears and insecurities that are holding you back. Maybe you're afraid of success or failure.
Wait, fear of success.
Oh, yeah.
That's a thing.
It totally is. Sometimes we like subconsciously sabotage ourselves because we don't believe we deserve good things, or we're scared of the changes that success might bring.
Wow. This never occurred to me before, but it makes so much sense.
Right.
So by acknowledging those fears, are we magically getting rid of them?
Not magically, no, but
Okay.
it's the first step.
Right.
Once you're aware of those negative thoughts, you can start to challenge them.
Okay.
The source didn't really go into detail on this, but there are tons of techniques like journaling, affirmations, even therapy
Right.
that can help you reframe those limiting beliefs.
So it's like we're taking those negative thoughts to court, examining the evidence,
Exactly.
and seeing if they actually hold up under scrutiny.
Often when we really dig deep, we realize those beliefs,
Yeah.
they're based on outdated information,
Yeah.
past experiences that don't even apply anymore, or messages we internalize from other people.
That's so true. I think we all have those voices from our past. Parents, teachers, society, telling us who we should be and what we can't do.
It's about reclaiming your power,
Yes.
rewriting those narratives,
Okay.
and deciding for yourself who you want to be and what you want to achieve.
I'm feeling super inspired right now. I have to admit, though, this whole mindset shift thing,
Yeah,
it sounds like a lot of work.
it is.
Is it really possible to change your thinking that fundamentally?
It's not always easy, but it's definitely possible. It's about creating new neural pathways in your brain,
Oh.
replacing those old limiting beliefs
Okay.
with more empowering ones.
Right.
And it starts with those small, consistent actions.
Like those small wins we talked about.
Exactly. Each time you achieve a small goal,
Yeah.
you're reinforcing that belief that you're capable. You can make progress.
Okay.
You have the power to create change,
I love it.
and that momentum builds over time.
This has been such an eye-opening conversation.
Yeah, it has.
We've gone from practical goal-setting tips to deep philosophical insights to rewiring our brains.
It's incredible how all these pieces fit together.
It really is. And it all comes back to that idea of intentional living.
Right.
This reverse goal setting. It's not just a random set of steps. It's a framework for approaching life with more awareness, purpose, and a deep belief in your own potential.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So for everyone listening, I want to leave you with this. What's one small step you can take today to move closer to the life you envision for yourself? Doesn't have to be huge, but it has to be actionable.
Love that.
Write it down, put it in your calendar, tell a friend, whatever it takes to make it happen.
And as you take that step, remember this.
Yes.
Your dreams are valid. Your aspirations are worthy. And you have the power within you to create a life that is truly fulfilling.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We'll catch you next time. Keep exploring, keep growing, and keep designing a life you love.
I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content.